And welcome to another episode of the Rorschach Test Podcast. I am your host, Terrell James. Today, I have a special guest with me, Path P. What's up?
Peace. I'm well, brother. How you doing? Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for being a guest.
Absolutely.
All right, so I want to start off this podcast with a confession.
Okay.
All right, so the first time we met was probably what was it about 3 years ago now? I think that y'all shot that video in Jersey.
That was I think it was 2017, so it was like 4 years ago now.
Really, it's been that long.
Yeah, time is flying.
Okay, so yeah, COVID messes everything up. It's like I
Yeah.
feel like we lose a year because of COVID. Um,
Right.
so that was the first time I met you.
Mm,
I believe when you were shooting your verse for that
mm.
video, it was a video with you, AJ Throwback, and Bricks. It was
Right.
Bricks' song, correct?
What's that?
Proof of ID. That's Bricks' song, right?
Um, I believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Maybe like produced it.
No, like that. That's his. I think wasn't that his? Was that
It was
AJ?
AJ's. It was AJ's song. It was AJ's
Throwback
song.
song. That's right.
Oh,
That's
Bricks. Yeah, it was AJ's song. Yeah.
okay. So it's AJ Throwback song, and you and Bricks were featured in it. But
Yeah.
when we got to your verse, I don't remember if I was there or not. So I don't remember hearing you rap.
Mm,
So I guess after we got back home, after we got back in town, I I believe AJ. I can't remember who it was. Somebody was playing something. I clicked on something that
yeah.
I thought was you,
Mm.
and I was listening to the song, and I'll be honest with you, man. I was like, why were they making such a big deal about this too? Like this is garbage.
Wait, what song was this?
It wasn't you. I don't know.
Oh, well, thank God. I was like,
No,
check,
it
check my
wasn't
catalog. Oh, okay.
you. My bad. I didn't mean to hear you. No, it wasn't you. So, but I was sitting there thinking, I was like, hey, like I keep hearing them say all these good things about. I was like, maybe I'm missing something. Because what I just heard, this is, yeah. I'm like, so
Mediocre at maximum.
yeah, and so, so then I came across I think I went back. It was when Proof of ID, AJ Throwback song, Proof of ID came out.
Right.
And I listened to the song. And when it got to your verse, of course, I'm expecting to hear garbage.
Right.
And I heard that verse and I was like, this ain't the same person that I just heard on that other track.
I
Like,
stepped it up.
this dude is dope. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
So
this.
I started doing a little bit more research, heard some more music. I was like, oh, nah, that and then I realized who it was that I was listening to.
Mm,
I right now, this was like I said, it's about 4 years ago, man. I don't even remember
right.
who it was, but I never went back to their music. There wasn't a reason.
Right.
But,
Right.
but then like I started listening and I was like, yeah, I see what the big deal is about this dude now. Like this
That's
is,
love, man. I
I'm,
appreciate that, man.
I'm glad that I was wrong.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean, well, no, I'm garbage out here.
Yeah. I'm super happy about that, man. So
That's
um
facts.
but so okay, here at the Rorschach Test Podcast, what I do is I put these Rorschach tests up on the screen and
Mm,
I link what it is that you see in the Rorschach test to what it is that you do.
okay.
So, but before we get into all of that, I want you to just tell everybody that's listening and watching exactly who is Path P and what does Path P do.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Path P, I would always say first, like artist at heart. In every facet, whether it's the music or just visuals or what have you, that's always just been a part of my heart and my passion.
Mhm.
And really, um, Path P position at the highest point
Love that,
is right. What's that?
I said I love that, by the way.
Oh yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, I put that together. It's kind of like my own, like mental reminder, like what I want to do and how I want to keep focusing on my goals and get to where I need to be. So that's that's how I kind of stuck, and it
Okay.
sticks in people's tongues. So that was that's how that worked. But Path P is someone who utilizes that creativity and like looks at the world around him, and tries to find the best ways possible that he can, I'm talking third person, he can apply that those creative talents and thoughts and ideas to the world around him to help transform it in the ways that he best can, right? Whether it's being involved in the community, whether it's being involved with other artists, helping to support in the creative exploration or the uplift of other artists, but really of the people, really again community minded, and letting the music, especially hip hop, being a groundwork of telling the story, telling the message of the streets and of the people, letting it do what it does best, through myself, to tell the stories of the people, to tell the stories of the struggles that take place, to tell the stories, to bring awareness to people who may not even enjoy hip hop. And I've gotten that in my earlier times where people like, I don't even listen to hip hop, I like what you do.
I
And
can see
to me, yeah, to me, that tells me something. That's that type of energy is what's kept me going, for as long as I have been doing this, which has been like about 10 years now. But really, it's about, Path P is just a person of the people, and just providing a voice in a space for not only truth to shine, but vulnerability to shine, for authenticity to shine, and fun and love and all aspects of humanity to shine within the music that I particularly make. Um, and a farmer now, so like a farmer and like all these different aspects of just creating and freedom and roads to liberation is what Path P is, who Path P is, and what Path P is about, to in short. So.
So tell me something, man.
Mm.
I want to get into like so me and my wife, we have some things we've been planting. I don't know if we can call it a full-blown garden right now,
Right.
but we've got a few things. We've had peppers,
Mm.
parsley, basil, peppermint,
Yeah.
um, a couple of, then we got just other plants. But I mean, as far as things that you can eat, those are the things that you can actually consume.
Right.
But you say that you're into farming.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just interested. Like for us, it started off as I don't really want to say a hobby. I'm a master herbalist, so
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to plant my own herbs and grow them
Right.
and cultivate them, use them,
Totally.
um, but somebody who has gotten into farming, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like super interesting right there. What
Yeah.
what caused you to get into farming?
Well, with that, and I mean, I'm started gardening myself, and then like transitioning into this idea of urban farming, and ultimately now working as like a full blown farmer, small scale farming.
Mhm.
But what got me into it, as I said, I do a lot of around my music, and the work that I do is mostly around social justice and like looking at the aspects of social justice. And one of those aspects that I came across, working with this global nonprofit by the name of Why Hunger, that works on food justice, anti-hunger, anti-poverty, and looking at the root causes, which do look at racism and social injustices and human rights, those those violations as the root causes of hunger and poverty. And a lot of the people that work around within that are farmers, growers, people that are really true to the land and true to agriculture, and understand and working in ways to help people understand that this is our food system, right? And these are the pieces that help our food system move, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. And there's also sovereignty and power in growing your own food. So when I'm talking about justice for Black people and justice for Black lives, and part of that conversation around freedom and liberation, that's all encompassing conversation. So when you say sovereignty and freedom through growing food, that's just as much as part of that conversation as anything else. So that's something that ignited me to be more intentional and more consistent around the idea of growing food, and also providing education, even as I go along in this journey, providing education as much as possible and support to others around what that really means. It's not just growing flowers and just a pretty thing. It's really about like um there's a beautification of land, but it's also a health thing. It's also looking at how food interacts with your mind and your neurological state, and like how you think and process your everyday life and everyday experiences. And when you think about the hood and things like that, like what food is available or lack thereof, you think about that's what's a lot of the pieces that affect the psychology um of people. So if you're not getting good food, you're not thinking straight, you're not acting right, you're not moving in the best way possible. So how can we get people to eat better and learn themselves better, learn their bodies better, which is also an aspect. Like you get to learn your body a lot more when you're eating the proper foods. So all these things within that conversation is what led me to really be more entrenched in the idea of farming and growing food and gardening for over the past few years now. So
Okay, got you. Yeah, man. I think so. I moved. I'm from DC, but I moved out to the country.
mm,
I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland now,
okay.
and I'm surrounded by farms.
Mm.
Um, but they stink. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
that compost and all that, the
Yeah,
fertilizer going through. Yeah,
yeah. It stinks. It's I'm used to stinking city smells. I'm not
yeah,
used. It's taken a while because I've been coming out here for years, man. And
right.
before like I officially moved, I was already coming out here, and
Mm,
it is just I can't adjust to the smells of
mm,
the farms.
yeah,
But I mean, let me go to take me back to DC to some places where like
right,
alleys smell like urine and stuff. I'm like, whatever. Just walk past it and keep it pushing. I mean, like
right. It's not gonna stay with you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Although most of those alleys have been gentrified, but whatever.
yeah,
Um,
basically. It's
yeah,
another story.
exactly.
It's another stinking story. But
So, all right, man. I want to get into
for
these
sure.
Rorschach tests now. Okay.
Okay, but
All right. So let's see. Let's go here. All right.
yeah.
Tell me what you see here.
Ooh. I do see a face. I see like it's almost like a makeup or a mask covering up a certain type of like I see lips at the bottom. Um Kind of like just split down the middle. Like some type of like, I don't know, masked individual, or just kind of like this story of someone with a deeper conversation going on within them. That's almost like warrior like, so to speak. So kind of coming through. There's like this like in between story of like discovery, um, and reaching into someone's better self, kind of like warrior almost. So
You said
that's
a
that's what I'm
warrior.
seeing. Warrior, yeah.
Okay. Okay. What I see is I see two. It looks like at the bottom, the two red parts at the bottom, they look like two small red tornadoes.
Mm,
Above them, it looks like two people are in black tornadoes,
mm,
and it looks like their heads are exploding or bleeding.
mm. Wow, wow. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But this
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
about what I see. This is about what you see. So,
It's all good. It's all perspective and when you see things. I mean, I see figures too, so I can see that. I can feel that.
yeah. So, all right. But you say you see a mask, um,
Yeah, yeah. Mask
and
of a warrior.
you see the mask of a warrior. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
all right. So let me link this to what it is that you do. So, when you listen to your music, and
Mm,
by the way, at the end, I want to say this now, and I want to say this again later. I really want people to go and check out your music because it
I
really,
appreciate that.
really is incredible, and
Thank
it
you, brother.
is such a, a powerful message.
Thank you, brother.
Um, but it is layered.
Mm,
I feel that it's layered. I feel
mm,
that that you're not a surface rapper. It's not one of those things where it's only what you see, what you get.
right.
Sometimes you got to peel back some layers. It's almost as if there's a mask there.
Yeah.
You have to uncover that mask, and once you uncover that mask, you get to the crux of what you're trying to accomplish here, which is that warrior mentality.
Right.
And which is why I feel like it is so important. I really, really want people. I wish everybody who is listening to this could have heard your music already so they can understand the
Yes.
connection that I'm making right now. But when I hear your music, I hear warrior music. I hear warrior music, and I also hear like I said, layered. I hear layered
Yeah.
music.
Mm,
You got to peel back those layers. You're not going to listen the first time and catch everything.
right. Right. Right.
You got to listen, over and over in order for you to of like, okay, I got what you said. I got what you said. That's
Right.
one of the, I love that for instance, let's take Jay-Z, for instance.
Mm,
I have listened to Jay-Z forever.
right.
But there have been times that I will go back to a song that I've heard a million times years later,
Mm,
and I'll hear something different.
right.
Or either that, or I'll hear something. I'll be like, "Oh, that's what you were saying." You
Right.
know, those double entendres and the triple entendres. Don't even ask me how. Like that right there. Like it's, sometimes I'm like, I got it now. I got it now.
Yeah. Right.
And
Right.
I feel like with your music, it's the same way, but it resonates with you differently at different points in your life.
Yeah.
So when I listened to Jay-Z's music, when I was much younger, it didn't hit me the same way it did when I got older and I learned more and
Mm,
I experienced more and I was around certain types of people and I experienced certain types of things that made me say, okay, I see what you're saying here now.
right. Right.
I feel the same way about your music. You make music that allows a person to grow with the music. It ages well.
Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Man,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
appreciate you.
thank you, brother. Definitely. And I feel that it's always weird, like, like listening back to your stuff. Like even when I listen to, like, my first album as just a reflection, like I feel that the whole idea is I want to make something timeless. I don't want to make something that's kind of like for the moment. I want to have legacy is a very big thing for me. I
Mhm.
want it to be, so to speak, of a time capsule that you can always refer back to, and it can resonate in certain ways. I don't want it to be like talking about racism and that's still a resonating thing like 20 years later, but
Oh,
really
yeah.
just overall, like
And,
the humanity of it and vulnerable storytelling.
mhm.
Um, I would like it to resonate. Like I listened to my first album, and it still, for me, resonates a lot even now than when it did back in 2014.
Mhm.
As for, in my opinion, a very solid piece. So I'm always appreciative to hear those sentiments, and just kind of hear you know how it's landed with folks out in the rest of the world.
Mhm.
That matters to me greatly, because the idea is to spark something within the space that can move us forward in some possible way. So thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. And I thank you for the type of music that you make because it's very much needed.
Thank you.
Very,
Yeah,
very
for
much
sure.
needed.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into another test here.
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's go here.
Ooh. I see a person walking along a dark road, like with their shadow behind them, kind of like leaving their past behind them, leaving their demons behind them, so to speak. Like the top portion kind of looks like that person, like their back, like walking into a new space. And then you got kind of this pathway, this road behind them that's kind of like a little dark, that's like almost like dispersing, so to speak, as they like step into a new space.
Okay. You went really, really deep there, and I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction. I
Mm.
see a vagina with stretched out lips and a long clit at the top.
I saw that too, but but, but there was something that was like, oh, this actually catch me off. So let me talk about that. But but I find both to be very valid and very much in the duality of things.
Yeah,
Yes.
and both are very much a part of my life. So
Absolutely, absolutely. We wouldn't be here without the ladder. So there you
right,
go.
right. Um, okay, so you literally use your name in the description of what you saw there. You said path.
Oh yeah, I did, huh? Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
you make this really for me.
Right.
Yeah, so but when you are so I guess in your path, with being a rapper,
Hmm.
of course you rap from very real situations,
Yeah.
very real experiences. It's been a path for you though. And
Mm.
so you said this. Let me put this back up for a second. What did you say about the darkness?
It's like almost like the darkness is kind of like fading, so to speak, and being left behind where it is, as the figure kind of walks forward into where they're going. And even them being black, kind of this the black tones, like there's still something there, but they're kind of shedding it.
Okay. So you as a rapper, and then I mean going just back to your name, your name is an acronym position at the highest point.
Hmm.
And um if you're at the highest point, you essentially are above all of the darkness. You have left all of the
Mm,
darkness behind, and
definitely.
you have journeyed on this path.
Mm,
But tell me a little bit about the path that you have taken,
mm,
where you have had to probably come out of darkness to lead you to the light, or to get you at that highest point.
mm, mm. Um, yeah, for me, it's I realized a lot of what I've come from, even but like before I started getting into music and kind of realizing music became this kind of cathartic space, so to speak, for healing to grow and to kind of find a certain type of power in voice. Was I went through a lot of loss. Like I lost my mother about well, 14, 15 years ago now. Great grandmother, like, aunts and people, and like, and being an only child, relationships always that actually really matter to me. So, and like my mother's like my road dog. So like that brought on a lot of like dark time, and like as far as like not going down any type of like, path other than like really path other than really like, looking at feeling like less than and feeling like less than worthy and like feeling like this deep depression. And I realized I was in a deep depression for like 10 years.
Mm.
And just kind of functioning through it, right? Functioning through it in my relationships, and kind of like almost this thing with grabbing on. It was like essentially grabbing on to what felt like it worked, and within in the back of the mind fear of like it leaving. So there was just a lot of these different um dark space feelings, like even like after my mother passed, or just kind of like suicidal thoughts, and it's like all these different things like um that I was trying to just heal from, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't, you ever have like the dreams like where you're like fighting somebody, and it's like it's like the punches are like noodles. It's just like, like it's just like nothing's landing, nothing seems to be just fighting off whatever this figure is or what have you. And for me, a long time, a lot of my dreams are like that after that time, until I found this space in my music and in space in kind of like choosing self development and working with some folks and getting quote unquote a sort of therapy, working with other people, going through their personal development. All those things came together to kind of help shape me into a new pathway, to build myself. And in that, the punches got stronger, and like,
Yeah.
it was kind of just, Superman, Black Panther status with it,
Mhm.
and the music was just kind of my way of reflecting that, and imbuing that in other people when they listen. A lot of it is like there's talking about the trials, there's talking about the pain, but there's also talking about the triumph that can come with it. Like I intention a lot of my music, the majority of my projects, to always end on a high note, even if there's talking about something, that's like might be dark, or might be sad, or might be, struggle of some sort. I always try to end each project on a high note, or like a positive song or uplifting song,
Mhm.
to because just like you're closing out that chapter with a hope and an intention that there's something greater on the other side of all of this. So I let a lot of my journey through that um, be infused to my work, and hopefully into those that listen, to just share that out with them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I noticed, you can't stay away from that word path. You keep going back.
I know, right? It's just there.
But
It
it makes
sticks
sense
with you.
though. It makes sense. You said
Yeah.
something. I'm really big on mental health. I've
Mm, mm,
dealt with depression since I was 10 years old.
mm, mm,
I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was diagnosed as manic depressive with schizophrenic episodes.
mm, mm.
At 14, they diagnosed me with that. Not going to get into the entire story. I'm just going to leave it at that. People gonna walk away calling me crazy, but whatever. It ain't the first time. Um, but
People
then,
think.
right, and then as I got older, they said, diagnosed me with PTSD because of a lot of things that have happened. But and the thing that's made me want to touch on those things is because you brought up suicide. You said the suicidal
Mm,
thoughts.
mm-hmm.
Um, there is a difference between suicidal thoughts and being actually suicidal.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people tend to deal with suicidal thoughts in the same manner that they deal with suicide, or being
Mm,
suicidal.
right.
And it's not necessarily the same thing.
Right.
So tell So explain exactly what was going through your mind when you were having those suicidal thoughts.
For me, it was like I said, not long after my mother passed. For me, it was really in those beginning stages where it was just kind of like I literally don't feel like there's anything else to live for. Like
Hmm.
there's no one else around me. Nothing really matters. Like you're talking about like this is someone who like helped supported and curating my world as a young man, and setting me on a certain path. So that when I lost her, that shook me to my core, and it was really just the thoughts like, would it even matter? Would people even care if I was here tomorrow? You know what I mean? And like this just wanting to end it all. Like
How old were you?
I was 20. I was 20. I think I just turned 20.
Okay.
Um, and this was on a family vacation when she passed. It
Mm-hmm.
was the first family vacation we had in like with all of my family, my immediate family together, and
Mm-hmm.
probably since I was like maybe a child, and we were coming in the station, and then right before we came into the station, she had a heart attack, and then she passed in my arms. So so when we finally got out, the doctors told me she passed, and it was like, you know, I was on the floor. I was ready to end it right there. I was like, fuck this. Why do I, excuse my language, like, but not on like, what else is there now? I lost my ace. She won't see the rest of my life. She won't see how I grow. She won't see the fruits of all that she's like put in me. So I'm like, what else is there? I don't even care anymore. And like a lot of that was going through this space, it was, and anxiety flowed high. I was like, always like short of breath, and like heart palpitations was a real like heavy thing for me for like those next like 5 to 10 years. Those type of things, just like coming in and out of thoughts of like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like why should I even bother? You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
never wanting to be like, but is at times it was come back like now she would, you know, want me to continue in some way. I still have family. I still have my uncle, my grandmother, or my immediate family, like that was there for me. Um, so it was like this kind of thing in the back of me that was like, I still got to be there for them and be the rock for them. But it was frustrating. It was hard. There was a lot of hardness. I got into a relationship, and that was a lot of hardness that was really fresh with all I was feeling. So it just it compounded a lot of those feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and frustrations and pain, and a lot of the pain, and sometimes wanting that pain to go away. But I never got to a space of like the actions of like I'm going to just go do it, or like every now and again I look over train station, train platform, I might think something, but I'm like,
Right.
I was like this, it was never a thing like, nah, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Luckily versus like a lot of other people out there, at least I was able to be, thankfully, like, hold on, let me just pull myself back for a minute, because sometimes it's not always that easy for others, or I don't
Right.
want to say easy, you know what I mean, but it's not always that concrete. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I really, I think people need to understand that there's a difference between being suicidal and having suicidal thoughts. I'm glad that you
mm,
cleared it up the way that you did.
mm.
Um, so okay, let's move on before I start crying. Um,
Right. Be some
uh,
levity.
all right, man. All right, I'm gonna pull up another Rorschach test for you.
Sure.
Okay.
Looks like this reminds me like one of them old school like pictures from like the 50s, like cartoons or whatever. But like it looks like two gentlemen just like greeting each other, or like, how do you do? Like kind of like tipping the hat to each other situation. Like the red is just like a shared bow tie or something. So
Right.
like I guess like to me that's like a respect type of thing that's taking place. Showing, respect to your brother, or like do black man, like I'm trying to get like you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of thing. So that's what I'm seeing in there.
Okay. I see two people. Looks like they're washing their hands.
Oh yeah. Good for
And
them.
yeah, what you see, it looks like a butterfly to me.
Yeah, butterfly, bow tie, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then like behind their heads, it looks like broken guitars.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's took a guitar and just smashed it against something.
They're getting rowdy up in there.
So, all right, but it looks like two gentlemen just showing respect to one another.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as a rapper,
Mm.
do you find yourself I'm going to go in a different direction and then come back to the respect thing. Okay.
Sure.
So as a rapper, first let me speak from my point of view and ask you if you do the same thing.
Mm,
As a rapper, there are a lot of rappers that I have an immense respect for,
mm,
but I am um you remember when J. Cole said, long live my idols, may they never be my rivals.
mm, mm.
All right, so I had a bar one time where I said, long live my idols, may they never be my rivals, but if it happens, fuck them. I promise I never duck them. And
That's
so it's
facts.
like the I have this immense respect for these guys.
Mm,
But because rap is such a competitive sport,
right.
because you just never know what could happen or where things could go, I find myself even sometimes with my favorite rappers just loading up just in case. Well, I used to anyway.
Right.
Like I'm loaded up. Like it's kind of hard to just sit back and look at a certain rapper go through something
Mm,
and say, well, now I have ammunition, and just in case anything happens. You
mm.
know, I have all the respect in the world for you. However, war is war,
Right. Right.
and respect doesn't matter at that point.
Mm,
So I I try to lead with respect.
mm.
As a rapper, anytime I came across any rapper, back when I was more active, when I was actively rapping, I always had bars, just bars, bars, bars. Just I could just rap all day long to the point that people would ask me, "Do you even know what a 16 is?" Yeah, I know the 16. I just happen to have 34 of these 16s ready
Right.
at
Exactly.
all
Right.
times, and because I just was always ready for a battle.
Mm, mm,
So a lot of times as I would come up with these bars for these rappers that I respected, um, if I didn't use names in my head, of course, because I wasn't, just going out and recording this stuff. But if I
right.
did use names, then I realized this could also apply to any other rapper.
Mm,
I could,
yeah.
and it could be somebody I have respect for.
Mm,
So my question for you is, as a rapper and being in this competitive sport,
yeah.
do you find yourself being like loading up, even though it could be somebody that you have respect for, whether you know them or you don't know them?
It's an interesting question. Like I can totally get your perspective on that. And for me, I'm so much like with the story of it. Like I have rappers with respect that I have respect for that I may look to or what have you. But really, like I've just been like they'll make me just want to be better and let's go harder. If as far as like not making the pen for them, but making the pen for them in the sense that it's like should we pair up, it's not going to be no easy battle at all. You know what I mean? It's not going to be no easy competition at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like I write to be at my best at every single instance, even
Wow.
if it's like the total respect of like features or things like that. I try to bring my A game as much as possible,
Mhm.
and any given notice. And usually it's the fact that whoever that rapper is in the space, that's what can activate me to write at my best. You know what I mean? Like so it's never for me. I've never been in a space, and I don't. This is it's just not in my soul to be too heavy and like I got something for them. I got this whole like this whole arsenal ready for them. Like, but for me, the arsenal is ready to just make some dope bars that like come correct. Like, I never want to slack. Like if Black Thought was like, "Yo, I want you to do this feature," I know that's Black Thought. I'm gonna come correct.
You better.
1000%. You
You,
got to, otherwise get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what is more for me. Like it's more like, even if it's like a whole like rival thing. I mean, basically the same thing. Like, all right, I'm gonna come correct. So get ready. You know what I mean? But even whether it's on the fly, what have you, is I'm always going to be ready. I don't have
Mhm.
anything in the stash for people, but I'll
Mhm.
always be ready for the comeback. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yep, I used to do it all the time, and then I stopped. But now, like now that
Yeah.
I'm really, really watching battle rap,
Yeah.
Like even my favorite battle rappers, I find myself just kind of coming up with bars because
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
like it's kind of like I guess like retired basketball players. They're sitting back watching people who are currently playing, and they're
Young
like,
cats.
yeah, and they're like, man, I think I can get out there and bust your ass.
Right, right.
That's really what, and I think for me, I started off battling.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I
Yeah,
just started off writing. It's like, I
yeah.
like music.
No,
You know what I mean? So,
no,
yeah.
and the way that I did it too was
Mm,
so my school the grades were battling each other. So all the grades
mm,
would click up with each other.
mm.
And when my grade came to me, they were like, "Yo, you rapping with us?" I was like, "Nope, I want everybody." I said,
Eat them all.
I want to battle the whole school." Like
Nice.
that was just my mentality, man. Like,
Right.
and that never left me. I'm super super competitive.
Mm,
Um, I don't
respect.
like, yeah, and for me, it's like if I click up with y'all and everybody isn't pulling their weight, then that's a reflection on me. But not only that, if I'm the only one that's good and I'm winning this thing and y'all are losing and we lose, like I don't do well with losing. I'm not used to losing.
Yeah, yeah.
Not, I don't like that. So
Right,
like, nah, this way I'm only dependent on me. I don't have to
right.
worry about y'all, you
I
know.
got you.
And don't even, I had some, there were some guys in my class, they could rap. They
Right.
could really, really rap, but I just, me, I just
Yeah.
wanted to just do it on my own.
No, I feel that. I feel like sometimes it's like, you know, like you said, you don't want to feel like, especially if you're in a group setting or whatever type of like clique, you don't want to be the one that's kind of carrying the load. So it's like it's better off like let me just rock out on my own. I'll see
Yeah.
y'all later.
Yeah.
We just master this craft on my own. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it didn't
yeah,
matter. And I got
yes.
I got shots for everybody. So
Shots all around.
yeah, yeah.
Elite.
I'm not like that so much anymore.
Mm,
I'm working on a project right now, but I'm really focused. Like I have an idea for a song and I focus on just that song. Where
yeah.
before I was just coming up with I wake up every day and just had lyrics. I don't write. I used to write back in like 2000, like in the 90s and into like 2000, 2001. I stopped writing my lyrics.
Mm,
I just started keeping everything up here because I couldn't remember my lyrics when they were on paper. But
I get that.
but what I would do, the repetition is what helped me to remember them. So I
Right.
would say over and over and over in my head. I remember the first time I was in the studio with some of my guys. They handed me a pen and paper so we could all write to this beat so we could go record. And I was like, I
Mm.
don't need it.
Yeah.
If my boy looked at me, he was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm good. I don't need it." And I just sat there and I was pacing the room, just mumbling to myself.
Mm.
The funny thing is, they thought that I was coming up with something new. I wasn't coming up with something new. I was going through my mental Rolodex to find what I already had ready.
Right.
But that's
I've
why,
been there.
yeah, but that's why I always had something ready,
Yeah, for
situation
sure.
like that. So,
For sure. That's
uh,
something I respect totally though. Like I shouts out to anybody that freestyle or come off the top regularly. I did that one time for an hour, and that was because I was inebriated. But to those that would like that do that, I have immense respect. The whole let me just go in, spit something, and then we can like work it out later, whatever. Like that's commendable to me for real. I gotta like let me just write, even if I write in bits, and then I'll come back to the final recording. That's
now I'll
so
say this: I
yeah.
don't freestyle. I can't freestyle to save my life.
Right.
But, and I think part of it is because I think backwards. A lot of times I come up
Mm.
with my second bar first and then the first bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
or then the previous bar, right? Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
I figure out my destination and then I figure out how I'm going to get there.
Man, you talking right now.
Right.
For me, like 'cause I'd be all over the place. I'll write like the last verse first on like a bar.
Yep.
Like I know this bar, but let me
Yep.
write what comes up to that bar.
Yep.
I don't want this to be the first bar.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that.
I do that. Yeah. So I commend anybody who knows how to freestyle. I've watched people
Yeah,
just come
for
off
sure.
the top of their head, do things like I love like in battle. Do you watch battle rap?
I used to for like I haven't watched it in the past few years. I think the last one was like the Loaded Lux one. That to show you how long the last time I watched battle
Man,
rap.
it's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I love when they do rebuttals when
Mm,
somebody they came with their prepared verse and then in the next verse the next person goes and they respond to something that the person just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's like it's funny because again, me being me, I sit there and I try to come up with stuff as I try to come up with my own rebuttals in my head. Like, could I do this? But I'm like, if I was standing in front of all those people like that, I don't think I could do it like that, man. I don't think I
That's
could.
too much.
Yeah,
That's too much. No, I think you know what was the last one? I think it was Method Man and was it Math Hoff? His name?
yeah. I think it was Math Off. Yeah,
That was the last one I watched recently. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was more of an
It was entertainment. It was an entertainment type of thing. I get it, but that was like the last one, battle that I saw. So
it's good though, man. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into another Rorschach test. All right. What you see here?
Whoa. Looks like the devil performing for folks. Like a crowd and just kind of like yeah, it looks like it's like a high energy crowd. Looks like a bunch of dudes laughing, or I see a bunch of faces kind of like near the center, kind of like this corralled around and laughing around like it's a crowd, or like the back of somebody on stage. Like it looks like some devil figure or whatever, I don't know, animal or something like that. But it looks like someone on the stage, and like these folks in front of them kind of like, I don't know, laughing or just enjoying what's taking place. But there's a little bit of chaos up in there too. So that's what I'm seeing.
All right, I'm gonna take this down because that is exactly what I see. So when we look at this industry, this music industry, let me ask you: is that what you see? Do you see in the middle, at the center of what we consider to be? You know what? We can generalize this and just say entertainment. Period.
Yeah.
Do you see the evils, and on the side, everybody? Because in that picture, I'm gonna pull the picture back up for a second. So the people are laughing. It seems as if they are amused. No, so is that how you view music, but entertainment as well? That at the center of this, there's a bunch of evil, and that is the thing that is entertaining everybody.
Oh, for sure. Like without the shadow of a doubt, that's what I see a lot of. And there was these reports in the past, like rappers, like I remember this one rapper who closed his eyes out because he couldn't stand the evils. I mean, it may have been something a little deeper, that he may have been dealing with personally, but I can imagine the depths being really that deep, and like the stories that are being told. Like I'm seeing right now, there's a crusade out by songwriters that's not getting their just due and getting their proper pay, and getting their stuff stolen while they're getting platinum plaques or golden plaques, and like, but they're sleeping on the couch. You know what I mean? Like for getting taken by the industry. So it's just a lot of like usury that I'm seeing going around, that I've seen over the years, and kind of how that impacts artists. You may not see your favorite artist after a while. So it's just like there's definitely something there that's just like really evil at work, and not only in that, now the behind the scenes treatment, but really in just like what's being perpetuated, especially in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like especially kind of like the frequency of the music, kind of this hyped up tension around the music, in my opinion, this monotonous kind of like graphic kind of demonization of humanity, of like, it's all about the drugs, it's all about the guns, it's all about, let me kill, and like, and that's just kind of what's repetitive over and over again. But it seems mostly to be in places like with hip hop and things like that. Like is there's something going on as far as like I said, with like how artists are treated as far as pay equity and things like that in other spaces. But I feel particularly in hip hop, there's just a lot of like that glorified demonization is taking place within the space, especially with these young kids. Now you got these young kids like there's so much about the drugs, and they're doing the drugs, and like you got so many of them dropping dead out here. There's a lot to that within this industry. Not only what it is perpetuated inside, but what it makes for them and their friendships and their outside relationships. Where the people that's close to them are like, enacting in jealousy and like killing. It's just so much going on. It's like rooted back to how this industry is treating its artists, or treating its people, or manipulating the fact that they're dealing with a younger person or someone who may just want it out from the hood or may just want it out from their circumstances, and utilizing that to have them put forth this just a lot of evil shit, man. You know what I mean? It's just like it's definitely something there that needs to be explored and it's put into the forefront as an entertainment factor. Like, this is what's being paid to put on radio. This is what they're telling you by pumping in your face all day, all night, and in your ears that this is good. And a human conditioning that's taking place that's not allowing people to think for themselves anymore or think critically anymore. And I feel like all of that is being permeated through the industry and permeated through entertainment, especially when you look at the rest of the world. Like, people are looking for something that seems entertaining. And more, what I'm seeing, there's a desensitization around pain or death or killing, to where people, it's just like people are numb to it now. It's funny, or people falling, or people like being hurt. Hurt is a humor tactic now, and there's this darkness that's really like looming over the industry, that really needs to shift. But I definitely do see that at the core and on the grand stage, within people, and a lot of artists that are trying to break free, I feel, and even challenges in that, kind of breaking the chains of that is what's taking place. So that was a lot, but like, that's kind of what I've seen and feel is flowing through what's being presented to us as entertainment or music or art.
Mhm.
So
How hard is it for you to stay relevant but stay away from all of that stuff at the same time?
um I think it's as a rapper, really, I think is I'm sure it's a challenge, um but it's I have gone back and forth, like, should I switch up or should I, try something different but not lose the integrity of what I'm doing. And almost, it's like it feels like a battle of like trying to stay true to myself. You know what I mean? And I always come back to it. I can't deny that. You know what I mean? Like, even
Mhm.
if I try to do like something trap esque or whatever the case may be, it always comes back to the message for me. Like, I can't even run from it.
Right.
So that became a thing of kind of accepting my path again,
Yeah.
of what I get to do with this music. And I know it's a challenge because it may not be the most popular type of music, or people don't want to hear lyrics anymore. And you hear the older artists, the OGs, and people that have been in it for a long time that are
Mhm.
really addressing that more and more these days. Like, people don't care that much about lyrics. Like T-Pain just said it the other day, and I feel that that's true. Like, going back to that, to what's being pumped out. There's a lot of just like the vibe and the feeling, never mind the lyrics. And then the lyrics are being pumped through the people's minds in the back of the subconscious of just this craziness.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a challenge to say, do how like how high do I want to go within this space, to do this music, and what am I willing to do to get there. And I think that's the conversation of time now, because it's like, I feel like at this point, when you got like the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's and the people that are kind of starting to bring lyrics back, I think that there's space for it, and it's just going to take a little bit more time now. So
Mhm.
I'm starting to feel a little bit more reassured in how close I can be to get to where I've that highest point or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But for me, it's a matter of time now, and a matter of just getting in front of as many people as possible, that do enjoy the music and do enjoy what I do as an art, because they exist. It's just getting in those spaces. So I think that's the biggest challenge. And if people want other things that have the access to put you there, it's going to be a problem getting through past those people that have become like the gatekeepers
Right.
of the sound. You know what I mean? So
Those damn gatekeepers, man.
damn gatekeepers, man. They holding it. They holding it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, yeah. They don't break through.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
Okay.
sure.
All right, we're going to do another test here. All
True.
right.
Mm, I do kind of see like a skull in the middle, but I also see like, um I don't know, I feel like I see two elder men, kind of like maybe like blowing on a pipe, or like, playing an instrument, but blowing an instrument of some sort, like kind of like almost like elders in Africa or something like that, just kind of sitting and playing music to each other, just in sharing a space. But in the midst of that, like I see this also on the other side of it, I see this kind of like almost like a skull.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I see two hunchback women looking looking down on two kids who are reading books.
Oh yeah, I see the kids. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I also see the skull.
Yeah.
Also do see the skull. Okay. Um, so let me ask you: do you are you a producer as well? Do you make beats?
Yeah, I make beats as well. I've been making beats for the past couple years now. Been self-producing, so
Okay, so you saw somebody playing instruments there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a connection there. Now you said like something. What did you say about Africa?
Just like it looked like it was two like elders with like I don't know like locks or something like that. Just like two elder men like just playing the music to each other. Like maybe like I imagine them like on a next to a tree or something like that, or in front of a drum or just something like on the road,
Mhm.
just or in front of their house or something like that. Just kind of playing to each other, kind of like carefree. But yeah.
You were very very in tune with your roots, aren't you?
Yes, I work very hard to get as close as possible
Right.
to my roots and that particular understanding.
Hmm.
Especially in this space within the U.S. where we grow as Black people that have no full understanding of our direct roots. That's a journey of mine that my wife and I are taking to really get that understanding because it just matters to come to know that you come from a place with a name.
Hmm.
Um, so that's important to me.
Yeah. Have you been to Africa?
Not yet, but that is on the plan for this year. We, working on our African ancestry, getting that locked in, and then, seeing where we're from, and then
Hmm.
find that out, and just heading on over there and then connecting with people. So,
I went to me and my wife went to Nigeria a few years ago. My
God bless.
my best friend got married, and
Mm,
his wife's Nigerian. So
okay,
it was one of the most incredible, one of the most beautiful weddings I'd ever been
I'm
to.
sure. I'm
And
sure.
I'm gonna tell you something about Nigerians, man. They don't just have weddings; they have celebrations.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They partied. Oh man,
Pray. Yeah.
we got there probably about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Man, we left about 9 o'clock that night. They were still going. I'm like, man, I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
tired, man. I can't do this. I still have jet lag. Like this is
Right.
but it was it was such an amazing
Mm,
experience being in
I'm
Africa.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure, man. And
yeah.
that's how we did our wedding within that particular mindset of like a kind of traditional West African like Nigerian inspired wedding.
Mhm.
Where we did that. We didn't do a spray, so to speak, but like we
Uh-huh.
tried to have it be a communal celebration of folks wearing traditional African clothing, all traditional African food, Senegalese food and things like that for our wedding. So we wanted to make it a community thing that was like open to folks to share in the village mindset. So that's how centered in it that we are. We would love to like get even deeper, even in that particular space to just be with the people. You know what I mean? So that's powerful.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's powerful. I'm telling you, you feel that power the second
Mm.
you step off the plane.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
yeah, you feel it. And then once you get out there, man, and you touch that ground, man, it's like you feel like I'm back home. You feel like you belong.
Yeah.
you
Oh
know,
man.
different. I've been to other countries and I've enjoyed myself, and it's just been like Costa Rica is the most beautiful place I've
Mm.
ever been.
It's
And
another one.
yeah, and it's just, I've been to some amazingly beautiful places, but none of them have felt like home, like
Mm.
Africa,
Yeah.
like Africa. I mean, I got there and I was like, man, it was, just man, look, a real quick story. So the day that we got
Mm.
there, we're exhausted because it's like it was a 24-hour flight. Well, it was two flights, first to Dubai and then from Dubai to Africa.
Right.
So
Right.
when we got there, man, we were exhausted. So I went down to the hotel lobby to order some food. I mean, not the lobby, but they had like a little restaurant in there. So I went in there to order some
Right.
food. And my wife stayed up in the room. So I ordered the food, and as I'm waiting, I decided I was going to go out on the patio. They had like this little patio section right there. I was going to go
Yeah.
out there because I just wanted to sit there and just absorb Africa,
Mhm. Mhm.
So in Nigeria, their power system is weak. So just periodically throughout the day, the electricity just goes out.
Mm, mm,
And it'll be out for a few seconds and then it comes right back on. And it's normal. It's
right.
normal. Like, you have to go through an adjustment period when you first get there, but eventually, you laugh, whatever. The electricity goes out. You just keep talking. You're in the conversation. You just keep talking, and then it comes back
Right.
on. You act like
Right.
nothing ever happened. So I'm
Right.
sitting out there. I'm sitting outside waiting for the food, and the electricity went out,
Mm.
and it was pitch black.
Poof.
And I said, "Okay, I understand that I'm home. However, I don't know what's out here."
Right.
I'm about to take my American ass back inside. I know I know I had to get shots to come here, okay? Like
Right. Right. Yeah, you got to do that.
I
Yeah.
don't know what's here like that. So let me go get my African American ass back inside before somebody
Right.
comes and gets me. But um
Right.
nothing got me. It was such an incredible experience, man. Incredible.
Yeah, man.
You are going to love it. You're going to love it when you go, man.
Oh,
We
can't
want
wait, man. I
like,
don't
we
know.
want to go to Egypt. We got a few places on our list if we want to go.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The list is long. This is
Yeah,
long for sure.
definitely,
So I don't know. You might,
definitely.
not see me again. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. The next time we do our interview, you're gonna be doing it from Africa.
Okay, yeah. I'll probably be at night, just like in that dark.
All right. Uh, all right. Man, I wanted to. Normally right around this time, we right up at about 56 minutes. And I normally am trying to end the podcast at this point. However, um, I've been, your answers to these Rorschach tests have been so interesting. I want to do at least one more.
Okay, sure, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you see here?
What do I see? I see two penguins chilling back to back.
Oh, you decided to make this last one hard for me, huh?
Let me give it a little more. Let me give it a little more. Let me
No,
see.
no, 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 no. No, 'cause I love a challenge. I love
Yeah,
a challenge.
with the cold is out. I don't know. Let's try that.
Actually, it's funny you say that because that's where I was going with this.
Perfect, perfect. See,
Yeah,
I'm into it with that.
yes. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, man, you feel like you're one of the coldest rappers out there, man. That's what when it's cold, yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like that?
Oh, do I feel like that?
Yeah, you feel like that.
Yeah. I feel like as a rapper, you got to, you know what I mean. But I feel like I've gotten to a space. I'm probably like any artist. I'm like very self-critical. So like I'm always like, let me do this bar, let me do it over again, let me do it over again until it's like perfect. But what is perfect? So but I feel like I'm on project like what number 9 or 10 now, and can't even count.
Right.
And like I said, going back to other projects, I felt so grounded and I'm dope. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, at
Mhm.
this point, it's like no matter what anybody says, I'm solidified in the reality that like I'm nice at what I do. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
I agree,
You
100%.
know what I mean? So that's just kind of what it is.
Mhm.
You gotta feel that way, but I really like legitimately do feel that way.
Mhm.
So and like, I can only get better as the more I stay, keep my nose to the grindstone. So
Okay. All right. I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit. I got some other pictures that I want to put up here.
okay.
You're from Brownsville, right?
Yes, born and raised.
All right. How do you feel about this man right here?
Sean P. I know he's a legend. The other P, the first P. You know what I mean? Shouts out, rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
Um, is interesting. I realize his impact, his grit, and his wit, and the way that he raps. I wasn't brought up on Sean P, but like, I understand. Like I said, the way he holds within the hip hop community, especially from Brownsville, like, Helter Skelter, everything, just kind of like a lot of that just it really mattered to the culture, and it's unfortunate that we lost his voice, him and like other rappers around that same age. I think that was just a kind of an interesting time
Hmm.
um that we lost him, but I totally respect where he comes from as a lyricist, an MC, just knock your ass out like straight up music. Like that's just what it is. I know that's not my music,
Mhm.
but I have much respect for for what he's provided. So
Yeah. We had when we were doing the Breakout Kings radio show, me, AJ
yeah,
Throwback, Coach Taylor.
yeah.
I don't remember if Janet. I think Gangsta B was there at the time, man. I don't want to leave anybody. I believe Gangsta B was there. I don't know if Janet was there, but we had the pleasure of interviewing Rock from Health,
Mm, mm.
and that
I
was
remember that.
yeah, that was an exciting interview because man, I remember being in high school and I couldn't wait for that bell to ring so I could get to my car and listen to that boot camp click. CD.
Mm,
And I was
yeah.
yeah, I loved the boot camp click. I loved Rock. I remember Rock, man. I remember um the reason I got so big on Helter Skelter was because um it was Rock's voice.
Mm,
I was able because so many people in boot camp clicks. I'm trying to all right, this person is this person just trying to match the names with the voices, but
right.
Rock's voice just stands out.
Mm,
So I knew, but then once I heard them as Helter Skelter,
yeah.
and I started hearing Sean P, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fool, like this dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
legend.
remember. Yeah, for sure. I remember. A matter of fact, like I'm someone who like I was brought up on like soul music and R&B in my household, and like when I really started getting into hip hop, was around the time. It was I think somebody gave me like a Helter Skelter like mixtape or something like that. It was one of their projects, and I
Oh,
remember them being like, there was I think they did a show in the Cephalo's at the in Brownsville in Cephalo houses,
mhm.
and I think it was a community center. They did a show, and that's what I remember hearing about them the first time over. But like I never really like. It took me time to get into hip hop and to get into rap.
Yeah,
Come from where I was with it, but I was like, I remember those. If anything, they were my first kind of introduction. Were part of my first introductions. Chia Lee and like all that type of stuff. Was like around that time.
yeah,
Um, was my first real introduction. Like, all right, let me start getting into hip hop. You know what I mean? Aside from Diddy and like all them other people.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
All right. Let me ask you something, man. We gonna switch
yeah.
gears. Do you like boxing?
Um, I'm not a fan. I'm just like I don't watch it regularly. I
More of
watch
a
TV.
fan.
Yeah, but I'm like if I like somebody like I know of like it was like Mayweather or something like that or like and if I have access to it I'll watch. But I'm not like like I gotta go watch. I realize how big that is. A lot of people I know, but I'm just that's something that's not me. But it's like I'm not against it. I'm not like boxing, but like I just never like let me go watch this boxing match. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a group thing.
Right.
So.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up Mayweather because this next picture. Tell me what you think about this. Did
Wait,
you
is that a tattoo?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was a real tattoo. I think it was a
Oh,
henna
okay.
tattoo.
That's
I
ridiculous.
heard it was a henna tattoo. I don't know if it's real, but
Yeah, that's
oh
probably not him.
yeah. Well, I mean, so you saw the video?
Yeah, I saw a bit a clip of that, the whole hat stealing thing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know about that boy. Like, I know Mayweather. I've seen what Jake Paul's kind of been doing, but I don't know about that boy, man. Mayweather might have to reach for something serious out there and just like let him know something real quick. So yeah,
I'm the biggest Mayweather fan in the
yeah,
world,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that whole gotcha hat thing was hilarious to me.
That was like,
Can't wait to see Mayweather beat the
oh
blood
my
out
god.
of that boy.
But that's what it ends up being, right? You can't wait for that to happen.
I can't wait. And he was talking about fighting both of them, both of the
Mm.
brothers. And
Like,
I think that would be incredible. And honestly, I think he could do it.
I
I
think
really,
you can do it.
yeah, I
I,
think he can pull it off.
I have no doubts about that. The other one box?
Huh?
Does the other one box?
Yeah, yeah, both
Oh,
of
they
them.
both box. Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
shit, yeah. Nah, you can take him.
Yeah,
You let him know something.
yeah. I definitely think he could
Believe
take
it in my heart. Believe
it.
it.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I know it's a lot of people saying, it's bad for boxing, or they're saying that they don't understand why Mayweather is doing it. Man, he's getting
Yeah.
$1 million for this fight.
Man with
That
no money, so yeah.
yeah, that's on the front end. That doesn't count how
Mm,
much you're getting from pay-per-view on the back end.
yeah.
So Yeah, and it's an exhibition fight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one I like. If I can find a way to access it, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So just to see.
Well, I'm a
Be
boxing
happy.
coach. I'm a boxing
Right,
coach.
right,
I
right,
own a
right. Yeah.
boxing team, so when it comes to stuff like that, I don't mind paying for it. I
Mm.
want to, I'm real big on paying for pay-per-view fights.
Oh yeah.
Listen. For me at that point, look, it's just money.
Right, right.
Whatever,
The
man.
experience, man. You
Yeah,
gotta hold on to that experience. Yeah, I got you.
yep. I love it. I love it. And then I'm also, I guess, I'm I'm all for fighters getting paid, and if I can
Mm.
contribute to that, then because I understand what it's like. Like with my team, I have guys that professional fighters, and it's hard. It is hard, man. It is really,
Yeah.
really
I
hard
can
trying
imagine.
to live as
Yeah.
a boxer. You gotta be special.
Mm.
Really have to be special. You got to be able to stand out, and I mean, everybody just doesn't have it.
Mm. Yeah.
It- you know,
No, that takes something special for real.
yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, look, we're about to go ahead and wrap this up.
For
But
sure.
before we do, I want you to let everybody know where they can hear your music and how they can get in contact with you if you want them to get in contact.
Right. If I want them to call my phone.
Yeah, right.
Yes, and thank you so much, brother, for having me on your show. Like I said, it was a pleasure, just pleasure chatting with you and talk, just talking about some real stuff. So I always appreciate that in these interviews. But for me, where you can find me, basically all my music, pathpmusic.com. All my social media is pathp music, PATHP music. Literally across all, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even on TikTok now, doing something, I guess. I don't know. But like I'm on there.
On TikTok fan.
Yeah, I'm about to see if I can start some new trends. We'll see. I don't know. Dance challenge. But yeah, you go on there, my pathpmusic.bandcamp.com, so you can really like be, for those that really want to support the music and sustainability of an independent artist. Bandcamp is definitely a way to go. Pretty much my whole catalog is available there. You can purchase straight out to support, or you can subscribe as well. There's a monthly subscription option as well, so that could just to support the music, and you can always be on top of the music that comes out. Exclusive stuff, special shows, merch, and things like that. I'll try to make that available as much as possible. And you can sign up to my email list on my website. It's a little bar right at the top. So again, that's pathpmusic.com, where all of that stuff is housed. And yeah, like, that's where you can find me. You can reach out to me there. info@pathpmusic.com. For anybody that's looking for, productions, like beat productions, or want to book a feature, or, have me on the next project, or support in some way, or songwriting. I offer all of those particular supports. And I'm always open to collaborate and just making great music and just making dope art. So let's go. Leviathan, my new single, is out now on all streaming platforms. Leviathan, I just released it at the beginning of April. I'm very proud of it. Self-produced and completely, done on my own during this COVID-ness. So like that was a fun project. So that is out now. So please make sure you stream that up on Spotify and all the streaming channels. So,
and it is an amazing song.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Yes,
Matt, you will not be disappointed.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So before we get out of here, I got one more picture for you. So please just tell me exactly what it is that you see here.
Sure. I see a true statement. I see a true statement up in here. Definitely, brother.
So do me a favor. Can you just read that true statement for me?
Absolutely. This is the greatest podcast ever.
And I couldn't agree more. Thank you for your time, man.
My brother, I appreciate you.
It's been great.
Absolutely, brother. Take care.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. You too. And y'all be good out there.